the frequency is everything. That Terrence Howard actually said he is taking his own risk when he shared this information.
I want you guys to know about a 6,000-year-old secret. 6,000 years, mankind has been trying to decipher this one little thing called the flower of life. Now, do you know the flower of life? Now, you know this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right? This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been molecularly burned into the wall. And it's 6,000 years old. This same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China, sitting under the fufu dogs. And the foot on it, the flower of life, saying whoever controlled that flower of life controlled the universe.
And according to Terrence, our DNA has its own frequency, and then actually each element that makes up DNA has its own frequency. And when we hear a certain music, our DNA tightens up and then push everything away and actually celebrate that frequency.
Simple. Our DNA is made up of what? 5 elements, right? Hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen. It turns out hydrogen, they used to think that energy, the body transferred or understood the energy information through electricity. They're finding out it's through frequency. Well, guess what hydrogen sounds like? It's the key of E. Guess what? And it's the color yellow. That's what proper physics gets you to. But I got a question for you. Have you ever been at a party with some of your friends you ain't seen in 10 years, but you was like 14, you hung out and there's a song that came on and you was like, ugh, and everybody got up and was live at that moment. Now say 10 years later you got a friend with you, he's a good guy, but he wasn't there when me and my boys formed this. So when that song comes on, our DNA tightens. There's a particular song, a scale, in the genome for each and every one of us. Now, when that song is played, when your particular prime resonant frequency is played, guess what happens? Your DNA celebrates and tightens. Everything else gets pushed out.
And this is a very, very interesting fact that happened in the music industry. This is a significant shift which occurred in the music industry, and there was a standard hertz, which is a 432 hertz. But there's a shift from 432 hertz to 440 hertz. And from the outside, it seems like it's just a casual shift in the music tune in the music industry. But it begs the question though, why did they have to set the standards in the first place? And why did they need to change? And it's called the standard tuning pitch in the music industry. And tuning A equals 432 hertz, and it is more harmonically aligned with the universe. And this is also the natural resonance of the human body. And based on Terrence, there's a harmonic language in our DNA, and when that thing occurred, such as listening to or hearing some sort of like music, your DNA tightens up and actually celebrate that frequency. And when it's sort of natural resonance of the human body. And based on Terrence, there's a harmonic language in our DNA, and when that thing is happening, our DNA pushes everything away from our system and actually focus on that frequency. And your DNA tightens up and it celebrates that frequency, and it brings you memory, and it brings you the smells, and all the 5 senses come back to that present moment because of the frequency. But here's the weird part, isn't it? Because that is such a beautiful harmonic language that we can actually have for standards in the music industry, then it sounds like to me that music industry is providing so much value to a human being, because that's the standards that every music that is produced based on that 432 hertz. And of course that's going to have the positive influence on a human being, because that's a natural resonance of the human body. However, in the 20th century, they changed the standards to 440 hertz. But some says this 440 hertz actually creates anxiety and a disharmony within the human body. But it begs the question though, why did they have to change it into such a negative influence on the human body? And again, I don't know if it's a coincidence, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, or perhaps it's a knowledge. So the reason why the frequency is everything for you to manifest what you want, your dreams and goals, and even scale your business, which I did, tapping into this secret in frequency. The reason why this is the most important part is because based on quantum physics, 99.999% of everything in this world, including ourselves, is energy. So if everything is in energy, then not only just the music, but things and people around us actually influence our emotions and psychological space, because frequency itself can make you anxious, or it can make you happy, or it can make your DNA tightens up and celebrating, tapping into a very high vibration frequency. So you have to be really aware what kind of frequency that you surround yourself with on a daily basis, because imagine that if you have so much negative vibration frequency such as 440 hertz, all the time you are bombarded by all these frequencies, not only just the music, but perhaps the people, perhaps other people's energy. So when we use the word frequency, we just think about some sort of like energy waves and the music or the sound. But average human heartbeat is between the 60 to 110 times per minute. And then each beat, not the entire beat, but each beat can be affected by the frequency. And when it comes to the brain waves, it's also frequency. For example, when you're sleeping, it's delta is the slowest brain waves in the human body, which is the 0.5 to 3.5 hertz. And when it comes to the fastest one, which is the beta, it's between 13 to 30 hertz. And brain waves is one of the most important aspects for you to understand how you can fasten the process of manifestation, which the reason why I practice Zen, not only because I'm from Japan and I'm born and raised in pure Japanese that who speaks a bit of weird British accent, but when I'm in a Zen and when I'm really calm and relaxed, that's where we can actually perform the best. There's a study shows that when you're relaxed in any situation that you can perform the best way possible. So when you are stressed, it actually sabotages your full potential. So in science, they call it flow state. In athletes, they call it zone. And I played basketball for more than 10 years and I experienced the zone multiple times. And then I also experienced the flow state when in meditation, when I was meditating like hours and hours every single day. Maybe you also experienced it before when you're studying so much and like you forget like times, and then maybe you're just running around with your friends when you're young and then you forget what time that was, and then you know when you go home your parents are so mad because you are just out for too long. So basically when we are flow state or in a zone, our performance is way better, and then we are so immersed and when we are so focused. And basically we need to be completely mentally and spiritually, physically relaxed to be able to tap into this flow state. So that's why the expert professional monks, they can tap into the flow state in meditation, and then they can experience such an enlightening experience. And again, when you're in the flow state or when you're in the brainwaves such as alpha or theta, now your frequency is different. So now I think you're wondering, Shao, how can we actually tap into that frequency that allows us to scale our business, grow our income, and achieve our goals and dreams? So as I said before, based on quantum physics, 99.999% is energy, right? So ourselves is energy. So we can identify ourselves as a energy, or we can identify ourselves as a human body, or 7 billions of cells. Or I can personally identify myself a very, very attractive Japanese man. Listen, you might be laughing and you're like, oh, he's funny, like blah, blah, blah. But this is actually really, really important part. So your identity holds a different type of frequency. And either you think that you are the best or you think you're worthless. Either way, it's your delusional perspective. So each of your identity basically holds a different type of frequency. So if I say that I am a best mindset coach in the world, which I am and I believe I am, some says, well, you can't beat Tony Robbins, he's the best, so you cannot beat a Tony Robbins. But your identity is not determined by the external factors. It's actually your delusional decision that you make internally. So if I ignore the fact that there's a Tony Robbins top of the pyramid and I determine my identity, I am the best mindset coach in the world and I don't care whoever that is, I am the best, and I can change people's lives and I can literally make people manifest everything they want, and which I can. And if I determine that internally, and then if that becomes the complete conviction, and let me use this word intentionally, if I can manipulate my frequency into that frequency, despite the fact that everybody says, no, I don't agree with you, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. If I can tap into the frequency, then I vibrate from that frequency. So this is the reason why every successful talks about the mindset is the most important part. But most people don't understand what the mindset is. You break it down, it's the frequency that you vibrate as a identity. Because from that identity and from that frequency, your thought process is different, your emotional process is different, the way you make decisions is different, right? So whenever you're making a difficult decision, if you have the mindset or if you become that person, then of course the way you make decision or the way you deal with stress is completely different. And here's the thing, if you have the weak mindset, if you have the weak or low self-esteem, or if you are as an identity or as an individual, you don't have the influence over you, then people can easily influence you. So the first things first, you need to be able to influence yourself to be able to vibrate from that frequency, which is the identity you want to see yourself as. And most people are focusing on too much about environment or too much about external factors, and then they're being a victim, which means that they're being a byproduct of their own reality, not being the creator. But you have to now remind yourself, and let me remind you though, you are the creator of your reality. You create your reality, right? So you have to take the responsibility and like, hey, let me just create whatever I want to create. Maybe it takes 6 months or 12 months, but all I can do right now, all you can do right now is that make sure that you are vibrating from that frequency, which is to make sure what kind of identity that you want to tap in. This is the shift that you need to have, is identity shifting, the personality shifting that you need to create in order to bend your reality and then create your reality so that you can scale your business, you can grow your income, and you can start making like 10K right now to 50K, just like that, when you actually tap into this frequency. So I'll give you exactly what to do. So in order to change your identity, you need to basically, again, what did I say? Manipulate your frequency. In other words, you need to brainwash yourself from within, and whatever people say, whatever other people say, and entire society says that you're this and X, Y, Z, don't let them decide or don't let them determine your worth or who you are as an identity and as an individual. You decide who you are, and then if you decide who you want to be as who you are right now and start identifying yourself as the future version of yourself in this present moment, what happens is when you start tapping into this confidence level and certainty and all this charisma and all these ideas and opportunities from that level. So what we're going to do is very, very simple. You need to first write that down, what you really, really want and who you really, really want to become. And when you write that down, make sure to read it every single day. And I suggest you to have some reminder on your phone. You know, if you use iPhone, then you can just go into the reminder app and then set the reminder every 2 hours or something, and then you just read that statement. Because when you're reading whatever you wrote it down, which is what you want, it's positive, it's something that you want. You're focusing on what you want, right? And then in this video, we entirely talking about frequency. Whatever you're reading, those statements, that has on its frequency compared to your internal self-talk, which is most likely negative, and you don't have enough confidence to actually achieve something that you want. Where your attention goes, where the energy goes. So now you have to force yourself to manipulate and to brainwash yourself with a different type of frequency, so that over the time you start to tap into different frequency, and then you eventually become different frequency. So now write it down and go ahead and start reading that statement. And if you're ready to scale your business, if you're ready to grow your income and take that leap of faith and start manifesting your dreams and goals, if you're ready to invest your time and energy and money, and apply from the link in the description. And I hope to see you very, very soon. And if you like the video, then I really appreciate it if you leave the comments and likes and hit the subscribe button, notification bell. It helps me to reach more people. And I genuinely hope that this video reminded you something or taught you something very, very important, so you can start achieving freedom and success in your life. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.